Yo, I thought it'd be nice to organize all the terminology you need to know day one for Sparking Zero in one video. You'll hear these a lot from creators, whether it's while gaming or in guides to explain things, so I hope you'll find this useful. We all know the basic HUD stuff, HP bar, key gauge, but there is skill counts that rises as you battle that's needed for special abilities and this transformation icon. Besides that, let's start with controls. I'll be talking from the PlayStation point of view. X at close range is a step where it becomes a dash at longer range. X plus key button is dragon dash, which is your super dash. You can hold square for a dragon dash attack that hits them away, letting you home in again by pressing X plus square with a dragon homing follow-up, or triangle to disappear behind them for a follow-up which can control the direction you send them flying into. Additionally, you can press circle when a follow-up is possible for an extra slamming attack like after vanishing assault. This is known as a lightning attack. Z burst dash by double tapping X with key button to get behind the opponent. Burst meteor is when you press triangle plus square after a Z burst dash for a follow-up slam attack. Ascend with L1 and descend with L2. Quick ascend and descend by pressing it twice, which uses up some ki. Square is a rush attack, mashing it for combo strings. Holding it leads to a smash attack, a charged version of it, which can have a vanish phase if timed right as a perfect smash, or held to the max for a power smash. Vanish assault is square plus X in neutral, which can appear behind them at close distance or in front at medium distances. Rush chain is when you press triangle to chain different parts of your rush attack. So square triangle is one type of chain, square square triangle is another, with every characters having their own unique chains at different points. If you do the same exact chain twice in the combo, it drops. Grand slam is when you press down triangle after rush attacks for a sweep. Lift strike is with up and triangle. Step in rush is with up plus X to dash in after rush attacks. Regular throw is with guard, so R1 plus square, which can be a ground throw to pick them off the ground. Triangle leads to key blast, which can be held to fire their charged version, and key charge with R2. Now back to blocking with R1, this can be held up or down for high or low guards for specific responses, and you can recover by pressing down before hitting the wall or ground after a combo or a hit, or dragon dash recovery by holding up while getting knocked away to get back in their space ASAP. Perception is a counter pose by pressing circle, consuming ki depending on what you counter before getting hit. This could probably have its own in-depth video later, but against rush attacks, it triggers a sonic sway, which is this cool dodging animation that drains their ki, or super perception that deflects super attacks but drains 2 of your skill counts. This can also be used against a revenge counter to counter that, trading 2 skill counts for 2. Speaking of counters, there's Z counter, the vanish counter with strict timing by pressing R1 right before their vanish assault lands. The longer these exchanges continues, the greater the damage return counter will deal, and it can continue on forever if you have the timing right. This is similar to high speed evasion, which is an evade by pressing R1 right before some attacks for a chance to counter, which has an alternative with step in sway with X plus R1 when close range to do an attack evasion. Now that revenge counter, that you press R3 for a counter that armors you through attacks with one of your own, consuming a skill count. Super counters is when you block incoming attacks or grab and then counter by pressing up with square, having strict timing but effective against almost all attacks, even from behind. For special maneuvers, there's transformation by pressing up with a D-pad to display transformation panel into the desired form. Fusion if you have the required characters by pressing L1 to toggle through the transformation panel. You can switch by pressing left and then pick the characters you want to switch into. This can be combined in-game for a chase change to continue combos and extend in unique ways. Sparking mode is what it's called when you charge to max and further, requiring a skill count to reach. This enhances your abilities, giving you access to Violent Rush, which is a continuous rush attack that goes on indefinitely while you're in this mode. You can also hyper smash to break the guard of opponents. There's also super movement that consumes your gauge and allows you to vanish and move instantaneously, and of course access to their ultimates. You can also emote by pressing right on the D-pad for that emote panel. Have fun with that. Don't be too mean out there though. There are the quick time events. QTE speed impact is when both clash using a dragon dash or other collisions, which can be divided into 2 main parts. There's There's single strike, where you have to match your inputs with what's shown on screen, then rapid strikes, which determines the final damage inflicted by the number of inputs performed by each player. Once this ends, the winner of the first part, single strike, will send the loser flying. It's just that second part that determines how much you get from it. Power impact occurs when two throws collide. This time you press the input up to the needle without exceeding it. The winner is determined by whose gauge is closest to the needle when it ends and accumulates. Crash impact is triggered when both characters collide with a step. They get divided into attacker and defender randomly, with different inputs for each side to press on screen in order to win with a max of 3 exchanges, so fastest out of 3 wins. Blast impact is when the ranged attacks collide, so these are your beam clashes. There's a meter that's displayed with a gauge. Pressing it will convert the gauge into total energy for the blast, so you can add these up or press them rapidly to add more smaller bursts. The winner is the one with the most energy at the end of the exchange. Finally, skill tree. Every character has their own stats tree that can be affected by their state, transformation, customization, etc. There's HP for a higher number of health, attack to increase the power of smash and hand-to-hand attacks, key for stronger key blast and or charge their key faster, combo to increase damage dealt by combos, special attacks to increase strength of a blast, and ultimate blast. I think we pretty much covered all the terminology and basic mechanics, and hopefully I'll have more in-depth tips and guides when the game comes out after getting good. Yo, this guy had a lot of tongue twisters still. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.